So I thought this was pretty interesting. We know that Doctor Who is basically toast at this point until the BBC can find somebody to bankroll it. And a lot of the people who were very critical of YouTubers like myself, who have been critical of the changes in the show, have themselves shut up, because it turns out that we were very right that Doctor Who is in a very, very bad state right now. It's so bad that the BBC wants to just outsource it and call it a day, right? So what's interesting is we had Grant Morrison, legendary comic book writer Grant Morrison, writing on their blog on Substack, talking about what could be done to save Doctor Who. Because apparently Grant Morrison, and I did not know this until recently, a couple of years ago said that they had actually approached the BBC to write a whole season of Doctor Who, and they got shot down. And now Grant Morrison is coming up with I believe a very clever way to fix the show. I think you would have to, I know a lot of people want a complete reboot. I don't know if that would work, but you could use some wibbly wobbly timey-wimey stuff to maybe fix it. I think they would need somebody like Morrison to take over, somebody that has a lot of respect for the show, because I'm sorry, Russell T Davies, I think doesn't have any respect for Doctor Who. Russell T Davies, I think his attitude is Doctor Who's my baby. New Who's my baby. I can do whatever the hell I want. And if I can get some messaging in there, some heavy-handed messaging in there on the way out and stick it to the chuds, I'm going to do it. Well, the chuds make up as we're finding out, the chuds make up the largest demographic of nerd culture at this point. It's mostly older men, like older millennials, Gen X men, or older boomer men who, especially something like Doctor Who has been around for like 60 years. These people started watching Doctor Who as a child when it first aired. They're going to be in their 70s, 80s. You know, the show's been on for a long time. So at least late 60s. So we're gonna talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV podcasts and episodes you cannot find here on YouTube. That's also on Substack, by the way. And speaking of podcasts, if you would like to listen to us and not watch us, you can do that. You won't miss an episode. You can go out to Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Look for Clownfish TV podcasts. Please subscribe. It helps us tremendously, so thank you very much for that. And, if the day ever comes that we need to jump ship from YouTube entirely, that's probably where we're going to go. Just so you know, between Substack and podcasts, that's probably where we're going to go. So if you want to get on the ground floor, there you go. So Doctor Who is on hiatus. We know that. We've talked about it at length. And now Grant Morrison is out there saying that there's an idea to fix the show. This is coming from the Doctor Who subreddit. And I think the idea is actually pretty good. So Morrison, being a writer, tends to write prolifically and write a lot, right? So we're going down this is a very, very long post, but if you dig through it, you find this bit about Doctor Who. I've thought about approaching the BBC again about Doctor Who, but they've never taken me seriously before. So I'm not convinced they'll start. It's probably worth a try. If Morrison had access to money, they would probably listen. Right now, the BBC is not going to bankroll Doctor Who on their own. It's been put out to tender. Russell T Davies is trying to say it's not canceled. It's just sleeping. It's not dead. No, it's totally dead until somebody resuscitates it with millions of dollars, right? Morrison says, as far as being saddled with a lot of dangling threads go, they could just reveal that Gatwa's doctor was an unstable bioregeneration who tried to make the most of his brief mayfly existence, but just sort of flickered along barely there. So Gatwa's doctor's a non-doctor. When he glitched out, he reached for a familiar face and got Billie Piper off the telly. Then she tracks down David Tennant's doctor, going mad with his earthbound ordinary life round at Donna's. Yes, because we have he's I guess he's depowered. I don't know how bi-generation works. It's stupid. They just pulled it out of their ass. Kind of like Gatwa. He got pulled out of David Tennant's ass. He can't stop attracting terrifying, vengeful enemies from space, so he's on the run when they meet, and they fuse back together with a lovely Rose and the Doctor scene to wrap up the whole RTD era in a neat bow, while the Doctor's understanding family cheer them on. Then it all goes wrong, and New Who picks up from there with nary a backward glance. So basically, wrap this up, explain it away, and then just move forward and never mention it again. I think they also need to undo the Timeless Children. I don't know if he gets there or not, but the Timeless Children needs to be undone. It's such bullshit, and there's so many ways you could do it. You could say, hey, the Master was messing with the Doctor. The Timeless Child was actually Susan Foreman, and we got those memories conflated. That would make a lot of sense. So many things it could do, but it needs to be undone. You don't even need to show off any of that, but it's all there for a big finish. So Grant Morrison's even saying this is how we could end that era of Doctor Who, and we don't even need to show it on screen. we just move on and we never mention any of this shit again. From Capaldi to present, we just never mention any of it again. We maybe do a big finish, and there we go. Take it or leave it. I would open cold as if the show was new. Yes, that's what Russell T Davies did, and it worked. And then eventually you start weaving in some of the history, right? Strange and eccentric young inventor, amnesiac with an odd TARDIS machine that can go anywhere and is bigger on the inside. Amnesiac, that's interesting. That's all you need to get started. Where do all the Time Lords come from? Well, it's all about the Time Birds and the Time Bees. But don't listen to me. We have experts near at hand. Okay. Anyhow, I believe nostalgia will be kind to Russell T Davies and Ncuti Gatwa. I do not. I've seen reappraisals of the Jodie Whittaker years that make her tenure sound almost appealing. Ouch. All that hallucinogenic weirdness where she's having mind-bending visions of the timeless child and lost lives before life. The gloomy hopelessness of the Flux with all those infuriating evil for evil's sake Cenobite characters wiping out the whole universe. It made no damn sense. The Doctor in Wonderland going insane, surrounded by damaged but strong people. There's definitely a vibe that could be explored. I think the timeless child needs a hallucination. There we go. I reckon even Gatwa's Barbie Doctor will surely inspire some great audio adventures. The shallow weirdness, the meanness beneath that practiced smile and upbeat breathless activity, the promising companions flickering by like shadows on his wall will come to seem gothic, decadent, and bizarre. A Milligan McCarthy Doctor. They'll all be redeemed and reconsidered as emblematic of their eras someday. Yes, the woke era. That's what it's going to be, Grant. The woke era, the wokest era of Doctor Who, my God. But it is kind of like, going back and watching a show from the 70s or 80s. You're like, oh, this is definitely a product of its time. Some things age better. I think later Tom Baker Doctor Who ages pretty well. Late 70s, because they did lean into the gothic horror. But then when we started, getting with the times, man, in the 80s, it's a very 80s show. Meantime, I expect they'll opt for the Young Doctor full reboot, which would be a mistake. You have a universe, you have lore in the bank. That's good to have as long as you don't rely on it. In fact, barely even mention it. It's so easy to do a young Doctor Who showing up in a field where he's found by some kids who think he's Jesus, amnesiac, TARDIS stolen, whodunit. That actually be pretty interesting. Kids who get into the show will be excited to discover there's a huge chunk of backstory to get into, but who am I to say? As for Russell T Davies, he can hold his head up high and carry on doing what he does best. Didn't Tiptoe fail? Tiptoe was Davies in top form. I thought it bombed. In a searing, angry, old school play for today feel. I am not watching Tiptoe. So that's interesting. That is interesting, though. I actually agree with Morrison. I think you can start fresh without starting over completely, but I really do think Whittaker and Gatwa's eras need to be explained away somehow. You just need to be like, it's a fever dream. It was the bad timeline. Hey, I'm still in the camp that thinks John Byrne's Elsewhen is a great proof that just going back in time and fixing these characters and just pretending the last couple of decades never happened works. Elsewhen is selling very well. If they could just, again, speaking of Grant Morrison, if they could just pretend the last 20 years of X-Men didn't happen, say for his run, or their run, I guess it's their run now. I don't know when that happened, but whatever. I guess that, you could just cherry pick some storylines, be like, yeah, this happened, this happened, this happened. This didn't happen. I don't know. I think there are ways to fix it. Anyway, gonna wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.